In the last step, Step 4, you will meaningfully test the technology in practice. During a short experiment of 2 to 3 weeks, an outcome variable is tested. For example, functionality, ease of use and environmental factors. Sometimes during testing it is immediately clear what is needed, but not always. That is why it is important to evaluate and reflect on whether the technology is appropriate. How do you organize innovation? This method of meaningful experimentation offers tools for experimentation. The process of dealing with a new technology is at least as important as the use of a technology. It is therefore interesting to look at how you organize the innovation and how you deal with this innovation. This is important because the context and technological possibilities are constantly changing. When you have chosen a technology, it is important to check whether the user is satisfied. Evaluation is therefore very important. It is possible that wishes and requirements gradually change, or that you forget the intended goal due to enthusiasm about the technology itself. Also make sure that the pilot does not become too large, complex, and a challenge in itself. It is wise to break the experiment into small steps. Choose a maximum of 3 themes at a time to see if the technology fits the intended purpose and needs. Does this appear to be the case? Then you can continue implementing the technology. When experimenting, don't forget that a pilot is allowed to fail. Actually, failure does not exist. After all, the fact that something does not work as intended gives you the knowledge you can use for the next step. Summarized. Technology is a tool, never a goal in itself. Determine the goals and wishes of those involved. Explore what technology is available. Look on websites and newsletters for inspiration. In the Netherlands we have the GET Lab, an environment within the University of Applied Sciences where students can experiment and try out technologies for healthcare and welfare. Maybe you also have such a space. View alternatives and make a choice. Meaningfully test the technology in practice. We now want to give you an example of how these steps were followed in a case of a lady who is older than 80 years. She is widowed and has difficulty walking. The lady is in possession of a smartphone and has a network around her that can help with chores. Students from a University of Applied Sciences have been instructed to talk to seniors at a community center and then see if there is a request for help. The students did not directly ask about the problems of the elderly. But there was talk with the elders about different experiences. In this way, the students learned to filter for themselves what was important to the elderly. It occurred to the woman that she would like to visit her husband's grave. Students went on an investigation to see what was possible. The students came back with 3 options: a volunteer who can take her to the grave every week, a mobility scooter training, or the use of VR glasses. The lady chose the VR glasses. The students filmed the grave with a 360-degree camera and posted it on YouTube. They then visited the lady with 3 different glasses: a Pico VR, a Quest, and a cardboard. The lady chose the cardboard because these glasses didn't have to cover her hair. She didn't want that. Now the lady looks at her husband's grave in VR every day. Not a temporary solution but a permanent solution. Why are we sharing this case with you? This can inspire you. Sharing the power of knowledge. Innovation requires creative thinking, optimism, critical look, guts, perseverance. The most expensive solution is not necessarily the best, so be creative and listen carefully to the user. The assignment for the next lesson is, think of a suitable request for help and choose the best technology. Goodbye, we hope that you now have a better idea of how to make the best choice for deploying a technology.